Welcome to the Power and Solidarity Call. We are delighted that you're here with us and are grateful for your partnership. My name is Maya Iwata, and I'm the VP of Partnerships at APIP, Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders in Philanthropy. It's great to see so many familiar faces, as well as some new ones. Thank you. On behalf of all of us at APIP and NAP, Native Americans in Philanthropy, I wanted to express our deep appreciation. Although they can't be here in person today, our respective CEOs, Pat and Eric, are here in spirit and look forward to seeing you in June. Without your generous support as sponsors, we would not be able to co-create this history-making convening that builds on our shared histories and communities and honors our long-standing histories of community-based philanthropy. Recognizing that not everyone can be here on this call today, we're recording it, and a follow-up email will be sent at the end of the week that summarizes this call. Why Seattle? Why do we gather in Seattle? You may have noticed that we are really going local and regional in our power and solidarity, but this location was actually chosen because there are so many Native American tribes and also so many Asian American, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, particularly Pacific Islanders in the Northwest. And it just was really great for us to bring together our communities in this really wonderful way. Dawn, who's the VP of External Affairs at NAP, is not able to join us. So I'm going to greet you all and say for both of us that we are happy to be joined by additional members of our team. Many of you have already corresponded with Kyla, who's the APIP's Development and Membership Manager, and Rod Jacobs, if you could also just identify yourself, thanks, NAP's Development Manager. We're also delighted to be joined on this call by Kelsey Woody, who's the Events and Meeting Manager at NAP, as well as Brittany Schulman, who's the Vice President of Indigenous Leadership and Education Programs at NAP, and Tony Sanchez, the Engagement and Communications Coordinator. And now we'll pass it over to Kyla, who's going to provide more information about your sponsorship benefits.
Thanks, Maya. Hi again, everyone. It's really great to be here with you all today. I know I've emailed with several of you, but great to see your faces as well. So I'll just start us off by walking through a couple of the benefits for sponsors, and I'll also do a quick registration walkthrough for folks who haven't yet registered. So firstly, all of our sponsors will be recognized on signage at the event, as well as in our program book. So on signage, Harbor sponsors will be listed by name, and all other sponsors will be listed by name and logo. And in the program book, Harbor, Tidewater, and Headwaters sponsors will be listed by name, and Cascade and Rainmaker sponsors will be listed by both name and logo. And additionally, sponsors at the Tidewater, Headwaters, Cascade, and Rainmaker levels will all be recognized on screen during our plenary sessions. All of our sponsors are going to be recognized on our gathering website, which if you haven't seen it yet, that is powerandsolidarity.org. So we're working really diligently on getting sponsor logos and names listed on that website. So that information should be posted soon. So just stay tuned for that. And if you are a sponsor at the Tidewater, Headwaters, Cascade, or Rainmaker level, and you haven't yet shared a logo file and your company website URL with us, we ask that you please do so no later than May 27th. And if you haven't already seen it, we've been highlighting our sponsors on our social media channels. So you can find APIP and NAP. You can find us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. The most recent sponsor highlight just went live on NAP's LinkedIn page earlier today. So it'll also be on the APIP channels later today as well. And we are asking that all Rainmaker and Cascade sponsors send any materials that you're planning to share with attendees directly to the hotel. And please put it with attention to my name, Kyla Alvarez, which that information is listed here on the slide deck, the address for the hotel, as well as the way that you can format that. So we're sure that we have it ready for the event. And speaking of the hotel, if you haven't yet booked your hotel room, I really encourage you to do so as soon as possible because our room blocks are going quickly. Kelsey's going to talk more about the hotel logistics shortly, and we'll share the link for the hotel booking as well. And last but not least, sponsors at the Headwaters, Cascade, and Rainmaker levels have complimentary registration included in your sponsorship. So we ask that you please register online on the website by May 27th. And you should have received an email from either Rod or me with instructions on how to register using your unique coupon code. If you haven't yet received that information, please reach out to one of us directly for that code so you can utilize that benefit. And I'm going to briefly walk through the process of registering over the next 2 slides here. So when you're ready to register, you can head to the event website that I put in the chat earlier, and you'll see this on the screen. For the ticket, you'll choose the Power and Solidarity registration standard rate, and then the number of tickets that you're registering. And then in the field for discount code, you can enter your unique discount code, and that should zero out for the complimentary registrations. So whether you're registering for just yourself or more than one person, that discount code should still work to zero out the cost. So it's complimentary. The only caveat to that is if you've already used your maximum amount of complimentary registrations. So if you have any questions about that, just feel free to reach out to either Rod or I, and we'd be happy to help you out. And if you don't want to utilize all of your complimentary registrations, let's say you have 5 and you only want to use 4, just let us know and we'd be happy to add that to our scholarship pool. And if you have any folks outside of the complimentary registrations, say you've used all 5 of your registrations and you still have folks that would like to join us, we'd love for them to be able to come. So just reach out to us because if you're a member of either NAP or APIP, you would qualify for the member discounted rate. So we'd be happy to provide that code for you as well if you don't already have it. And again, that's for folks outside of the complimentary registrations. So I know that was a lot of information. So if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can reach out to Rod and I via email, and we'd be happy to answer them there. And then on that note, I'll pass it over to Kelsey, who's going to review a couple of updates around logistics.
Hey everyone, as Maya and Kyla had mentioned, my name is Kelsey Woody. I'm NAP's Event and Meeting Manager. I'm handling the logistics for Power and Solidarity, so working with Kyla and Rod to make sure everything that you all have as part of your sponsorship packages are happen at Power and Solidarity. So I do have a few updates. I think Rod listed them right here, sharing his screen. We are hosting this at the Hyatt Regency Seattle, primarily on the 7th and 5th floors. We'll have a lot of signage as you enter the hotel to be able to direct you just in case you forget, registration being on the 7th floor. That is the host hotel, and that's where we have our primary room block. I believe Rod is going to go over this in a little bit, but for Headwaters and I believe one more level, we are holding a few rooms just in case you all haven't booked your room yet, but you need a little bit of assistance because the room block is full. We have a few rooms at the Hyatt Regency, but we also have a few rooms at the Grand Hyatt Seattle. He'll go over that in a little bit, but I just want to let you guys know that the Hyatt Regency is where we will be hosting Power and Solidarity, and our Overflow Hotel is where our Overflow block is being hosted about a 5-minute walk away. It's right around the corner from the Hyatt Regency at the Grand Hyatt Seattle. He listed it here, but we're at about 70% of registration, our registration capacity. We're starting to get an uptick of attendance registrations for our virtual component. And we suspect that as soon as this hits, this sells out in the next probably like 3 or 4 weeks, that the virtual component will be what we focus on put a lot more focus in as we have people from all over the country who aren't able to join us, but still want to be a part of what's going on. So I had a call yesterday with one of the decorators that we're using for Power and Solidarity, and she made a joke and she was like, you know, you booked your conference at literally the busiest 2 weeks for Seattle between like June 10th and the end of June. And I had no idea that we did. And one of the reasons why is because Seattle's Pride Parade is happening that Sunday of our pre-conference. So while APIP is hosting their board meeting and their chapter meeting, and NAP is hosting a couple of sessions on tribal nations, the Pride Parade will also be happening about 5 blocks down from the hotel. I think it's like one of the top 5 largest Pride Parades in America. So I think their website boasts like 500,000 people, parade goers. So we want to start our pre-conference a little later. So if people wanted to go check that out and enjoy themselves there, they are able to. But all to say, if you're planning on coming in on Sunday, you might want to consider coming in on Saturday, like a lot of people are, just because I guarantee you road closures are going to be a headache for a lot of people that Sunday. And then for that last point, the virtual component. So we are planning on, we have about 5 plenary sessions that are happening throughout Power and Solidarity. We will be streaming all of those through Whova for everybody who's registered. And then in addition to that, we will be streaming 2 concurrent sessions per breakout session time slot. And we're working really hard to figure out which one of those applies more appropriately to the people who are purchasing the virtual ticket. So the specifics on that will be released a little bit later in the coming weeks as we add more sessions to the agenda. Also, our agenda just went live today. So if you guys head over to the Power and Solidarity website later, you're able to see a lot more of what's going on, when things are happening. That way you can plan your travel around that as well.
Now let's have Tony Sanchez talk to us about our health update.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tony Sanchez. I am the communications coordinator for Native Americans in Philanthropy. So yeah, I'll be going through some health and safety updates as they currently stand right now. And to start off with, just wanted to preface this conversation by saying that all of our health and safety guidelines, our COVID protocols, are going to take into consideration any and all policies, guidelines, and mandates that are going to be set down at the time of the event by the Center for Disease Control, the state of Washington, King County, City of Seattle, and the venue itself. And with that said, we feel very confident that we can communicate the following health and safety guideline. That all in-person attendees must be fully vaccinated and provide proof of vaccination at the time of registration, of in-person registration or badge pickup. And that all in-person attendees will be encouraged to wear masks while indoors, except when drinking or eating, of course. Sorry, had a weird pop-up. Go away. I also do need to stress that these health guidelines, well, what I just mentioned with the proof of vaccination and the wearing of the masks while indoors, anything else is going to be subject to change, just because this is a constantly evolving situation. And we really feel like we are not going to be 100% confident in what that health and safety guideline is going to be for the actual event when we're there on site, and won't be able to be communicated until a couple of weeks before the event. However, we fully anticipate sending out a know before you go email. More than likely that will be around 2 weeks before the event, and that will have up-to-date information on all health and safety guidelines and any concerns. I highly encourage anybody that has any questions about those health and safety guidelines to either drop them here in the chat or to contact any one of us, especially at the, excuse me. Are we still accepting emails at info@powerandsolidarity.org?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so any questions that you may have, please direct those in an email, info@powerandsolidarity.org. We'll be able to respond to you with just as much information as that we currently have available at that moment. But please know that the actual health and safety guideline for the event will not be communicated until 2 weeks before the event. Are there any questions?
Looks
Oh.
like right now we can move on to Brittany, but don't worry, we do have some Q&A a little later, just in case something occurs to you later. So Brittany Schulman, if you could take it away talking about programs and then the agenda update, which is now live on our website.
Absolutely. Tanake Harura Ram, Brittany Schulman, thank you so much again for being a sponsor and helping us put this program together. We are so excited and grateful to be able to come together and share and celebrate everything that is APIP and NAP. So Sunday, we have our pre-programming with APIP. It is their board and chapter co-chair meetings with us. With the NAP, it will be India 101, which is pretty much 500 years in 5 minutes, sort of a history, as well as a contemporary understanding of who we are as Indigenous people. We also have a documentary called Imagine the Indian that will be happening a little later on that afternoon. That is just another way of looking at the mascot issue and some of our current realities that we face. For Monday, our opening plenary is just really going to celebrate how our organizations came to be and also the impacts that we've had in the philanthropic sector over the last 30 years. So we're really excited that we're having some elders come and talk with us, as well as being able to open in a really good way. That evening, we also have our opening reception together where, again, it'll be more celebration and more getting to know each other and be in that space in that moment. For Tuesday, that is a shared programming day. So whereas Monday we'll have some separate programming happening, Tuesday it's all together. And we're really focusing in on land, climate, and conservation, knowing that we all share this one world and that it's important for us to understand how we're all working together on it. There's some really great speakers who will be coming together. We also have some health and wellness pieces that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then that afternoon, we'll have a happy hour before folks can enjoy their dinners together. And again, taking use of the time that we have together, knowing that it's been a long time coming. Wednesday is our closing plenary, and we're really going to focus on civic engagement funding and the power of solidarity and what that means. What does it look like in the next generation, the next iteration, and how we can continue this moment in the future and throughout. Some of the topics that we want to cover in our programming that you can see that is now live is cross-racial solidarity, what that means for, what that means, how we work together. We'll have some community conversations around health, around youth, around the importance of different aspects of the ways we work together, Indigenous research and data practices, knowing what it looks like when we're actually included in data, where AA and NHPI communities are growing and what that looks like. Also decolonizing philanthropic practice and how you can take that back to your own organizations and ensuring that we have a more equitable future. And then pop culture and social change, knowing that many of the things that people think about our communities often is reliant on the past and on pop culture, and how we have some really great folks who are doing amazing work in flipping that narrative. And I think that's it. If there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, and I will pass it back to Maya.
Okay, thank you. And Tony Sanchez is going to be leading us in the social media toolkit.
Hi, back again. Yeah, so I just wanted to prepare everybody that coming your way in the next week is going to be a social media toolkit. And we've drafted this toolkit to be available and useful for sponsors, presenters, and our attendees. We're really excited about this conference. It really is a first of its kind of event, and certainly the first time that our organizations have come together in this way. With that in mind, knowing that we are currently, it's very likely that we are going to sell out of in-person registrations, and our virtual offerings are going to be incredibly important, especially as people start to take notice more and more notice than they already have about how special that this event really is going to be. So with that in mind, we really are excited to be able to share this toolkit with you so that way you can take part in the excitement and really help us hype up how important the Power and Solidarity event really is going to be. That toolkit will include social media graphics for you to use on all of your social platforms, suggested copy for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. It will be finalized and sent out to you no later than May 20th. We fully anticipate on being able to beat that deadline. But yeah, that will be coming here in the next week. I don't believe I have any other updates other than that.
Great. And so now, as you can see, we have a little bit of time for question and answer. If people have any questions that have come up as they're hearing things, you can just, I think we're small enough of a group that you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
So, yeah, okay. Wanted to circle back to the question that popped up in the chat. Thank you, Olena. How sponsors register for the event and how many of us can attend from SYL Foundation. So sponsors can actually register just like any other attendee on the Power and Solidarity website. So if you just click the register now button, it'll take you down. And then in the slide deck earlier, we covered the instructions on how to navigate that and plug in your code. So SYL Foundation in particular doesn't have complimentary registrations, but as a member of APIP, you might also be a member of NAP, I'm not sure, but I know that SYL Foundation is a member of APIP, so you'd qualify for a discounted rate. So you can utilize the coupon code for that, and I can just send that to you in the chat. So I hope that answers that question. I'm happy to answer more offline as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I see another one from Dora. Are the APIP chapter meetings on Sunday available virtually? Now that I'm not so sure. Maya, do you know?
Yes, that actually is more of a closed session for the chapter co-chair leaders. And we're really kind of valuing the in-person connections that are made there. So that actually won't be something that will be streamed. I will say, though, a number of the APIP chapters are offering virtual content. So if you wanted to sign up and or want to be affiliated with one of the APIP chapters, you should reach out to Kyla and see if you match up with our cities. And I think you're in Liberty Hill and in the LA area, then I think that, you know, Kyla can connect you there, but you should definitely email her at kyla@apip.org to follow up. I'd also say that APIP is doing a number of events or co-hosting a number of events for this month, of course, because of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So you should be getting emails as members. And if for some reason you're not getting it, you should again let us know, and we'll be happy to forward those on to you. Other questions? All right. Well, as you know, we want to thank you so much for spending this time with us, and know that this for us is the start of a relationship or deepening of a relationship for our friends that we've known for a while, and very excited to see some newer faces on the call. Just for a recap, that an email will be coming out on Friday, May 13th with information from this call and also some of the deadlines. Also lifting up that if you have questions or concerns, please contact either Kyla at APIP or Rod at NAP. And we just really want to take this time to thank you again. Just saying that we know that it is because of sponsors like you that we are able to actually co-create this very ambitious philanthropic first. And so thank you. And that, any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, and please enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.